Guardian. Guardian?
Eyesupsaf.
Eyes up, Guardians. And oh man, do we have something special today. Wow. Okay. So I will start off by saying this. I don't really watch a lot of YouTube videos, but I ended up watching a cool guy video because I was super intrigued on how ammo generation worked. And I'll link that video in the description below if you guys want to go check it out yourselves. But he went over and broke down the numbers and stats on ammo generation, and I was like completely blown away because I wasn't too familiar with ammo generation and how that worked, okay? But I just want to say that this build is absolutely insane. I honestly just kind of spam Dragon's Breath. I do use my other weapons because I don't really like the spamming heavy only gameplay, but it's so much fun to just be able to get out at the end of a fight and have full ammo on everything and never be starved for ammo. So I'm speechless about this build. I didn't think it was going to be that great because I was really trying to feed into necrotic grips. And I'm just going to be really honest about this. The exotic of choice in this build really doesn't matter. I really personally enjoy the damage over time type of builds because it fits really well in for ad control as well as damage on bosses. And this build has it all. It does them both. All right, so I was testing this build out, obviously, before I, showed you guys it. And I tested it at 30 underpower, and it was honestly a little too easy. So I ended up coming back to this, and I put it at minus 40 power, which is very hard difficulty with skulls and all that jazz. So that's what you guys are going to watch here in this gameplay is minus 40 power. And let me know what you guys think. Yeah, so I mean, it can handle it. It can definitely handle the harder content. I know you guys saw me being a little cautious while I was doing this content. It's because I can't tell you how many times I've killed myself to my own Dragon's Breath while playing this build, so that's something to look out for. Let's get right into the actual build itself. First and foremost, we are running Prismatic. We're using Song of Flame. The damage reduction from Song of Flame, as well as the benefits to your allies, is huge. I love Song of Flame for this build. And it fits really well into the damage over time, because while you're using Song of Flame, you can still use your Necrotic Grips, you can still use your Heavy, you can still keep reapplying your damage over time. So Song of Flame is a perfect super for this build. I am using Phoenix Dive. This is interchangeable though. You can use Healing Rift if you want to, but I personally like Phoenix Dive. You get it back quicker to activate your Hellion. Arcane Needle, absolute must. You get 3 charges. There's no question. And then I do use Vortex Grenade. Vortex Grenade is really good as well. Hellion is the first aspect, feeds into the damage over time, allows you to do damage while you're damaging with other things. And then of course Devour, I think personally, is a staple in Warlock Prismatic builds, just because not only does it help you get your grenade energy back quicker, but it's survivability, right? It allows you to play a whole lot more aggressive and not have to be super scared about how you play the game. In terms of our fragments, we're running Facet of Protection. We're going to be surrounded quite a bit based off of how you play this build, so Facet of Protection does work here. We are using Facet of Hope, so while you have an elemental buff, your class ability regens more quickly. We have plenty of elemental buffs, Radiant being one of them because of how much solar kills we're actually doing, so I really like Facet of Hope. We're also using Facet of Courage, so your Arc, Solar, and Void abilities deal increased damage to targets afflicted with Darkness debuff. Whenever we use our Arcane Needle, we're going to be unraveling targets, so this works really well with Facet of Courage. And then Facet of Purpose, when we pick up our Orb of Power, we're going to get Restoration because we're using a solar super. This is interchangeable though. If you don't want to go with Facet of Purpose, what I do suggest is going with Facet of Dominance, where your Void Grenades weaken targets. This also works really well in the build, but you really don't need it. Now, in terms of the weapons, I mean, these are my 3 favorite weapons this season. I just want to point that out. I love Mint Retrograde. It's too good in Prismatic builds, especially if you have Elemental Honing. You guys know how strong this is. Yeartide Apex, I love this as well. Now, you can, I was going to switch this over to Burning Ambition because we're scorching a lot, but it's up to you. I personally like Chaos Reshaped just as a perk, but I mean, whatever Yeartide Apex you have is probably going to be really good anyway. And then Dragon's Breath is the star of the show. Now, my exotic of choice is Necrotic Grips. I've always been a fan of, again, damage over time builds, so Necrotic Grip works really well. I tried this out using the Weapons of Sorrow, by the way. I did try out using this with Necrochasm. I tried doing 2-piece set of Twofold Crown with the 2-piece set of Tech Sec because Necrotic Grips counts as kinetic damage, so it gets the buff from Tech Sec, I believe. I tried that with the Outbreak Perfected, and all of those builds were great. They were fine, but they didn't really feed into the damage over time that I really wanted to capture. And Dragon's Breath just does that perfectly. So, and Necrotic Grips together. So I love Necrotic Grips for this. All right, so going into our artifact, we are running Fever and Chill. We're using 2 solar weapons, and Yeartide Apex just helps us get Radiant. We are running Refresh Threads as well as Elemental Coalescence, so defeating targets have a chance to create the Elemental pickup, and then when we pick up the Elemental pickup, it helps refresh our least active ability. We're using Elemental Daze. This is too strong. Guys, if you don't have Elemental Daze on and you're doing Master or Grandmaster content that has champions, put Elemental Daze on. It will change your life, okay? We also have Cauterized Darkness. We're going to be strand debuffing everything, so having the extra solar damage from Cauterized Darkness is huge. We're also using Shield Crush. We're going to have Radiant all the time, so it helps us recharge our grenade faster. I will say this, if you want to switch to a Void Super, just so you can get the Void Overshield to increase your melee recharge rate, you can do that. That's perfectly fine. You don't have to run Song of Flame. Elemental Overdrive is also here, so picking up an elemental pickup or tangle grants increased damage to the weapon of the same element. With this build, we actually create both. We create a lot of tangles because of our melee, and then we also create the elemental pickups because of elemental coalescence, and whenever we do that, we get increased damage to our solar weapons, so works out really well. And then if you do pick up a tangle, you will also get increased damage to your mint retrograde, so elemental overdrive works really well just in general with this build. Now, going into our armor, we are using, on our helmet, we have double heavy ammo finder. So if you guys haven't checked out Cool Guy's video, the way you essentially want this to work is your Dragon's Breath has a base ammo generation of 50. Because of that base ammo generation of 50, what you want to do is you want to put on 2 solar ammo generations, okay? Each one of these gives you 20. So by having these two, you get 90 ammo generation from your Dragon's Breath, as well as a bunch of ammo generation from your Yeartide Apex. So both of your solar weapons that you're using in this build will help you generate special and heavy ammo. When you put on your ammo finders act as scalers to the ammo generation. So this can push your ammo generation above 100 because it's a scalar and not capped to 100. So I have 2 heavy ammo finders. Any more than 2, you're getting a lot of diminishing returns. So even 1 would probably be okay in this build, but I can fit 2, so I chose to go with 2. And then I also have a harmonic siphon. For the arms, we're running 1 melee font because we are at 92 melee, so this will push us over 100 for maximum recharge. And then we are running heavy-handed, so our powered melee final blows create an orb of power, which works really well. On our chest piece, we do have the 2 solar ammo generations, as well as concussive dampener. On my boots, I am running harmonic scavenger, so this allows my rocket launcher to get more ammo, and then I am running a double weapon font. Since I have 162 weapon, when I pick up an orb of power, this pushes me over to 200 and allows not only my weapons to do more damage, but it also allows my heavy bricks to be a larger ammo brick chance at 62%. And then for our bond, we are running time dilation, so our orbs last longer, powerful attraction, so when we use our class ability and we're using it a ton, we can suck up all those orbs and take advantage of our font mods. And then, of course, we do have class font on as well because I have 54 on class. I wanted to push this up a little bit more. Now, overall, the stats for this build are pretty evened out. We really just wanted to focus more on pushing the weapon stat as much as we possibly could. But we get our class ability, our super, our grenade, and our melee back extremely fast. But if you had 2 stats to prioritize in this particular build, I would say prioritize weapons first, 100%. Prioritize melee second. You don't even need to push these to 100. If you get them to 70 just for the generation, you're perfectly fine. So just keep that in mind. You guys don't have to go crazy with the stats. I just tried to push them as far as I could and be as efficient as possible with the build. But yeah, guys, that's the build. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Try it out. Let me know in the comment section below if you like it and if you like this style of gameplay. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!